The cast of Doona didn't have it easy while filming the drama, as there were some specific rules they had to follow. From controversial choices to overcoming their fears, K-Drama Buzz has all the behind-the-scenes secrets that you will for sure love to hear. So stick around and don't forget to read the secret bonus fact we have for you at the end of the video. Our list takes off with one of the most talked about things that were requested by the director of Doona. There was one thing that shocked Suzy when she got the script, and that was smoking. In Webtoon, the character Doona is seen smoking many times, and that's precisely what Suzy had to portray. As you know, smoking is quite a controversial topic in Korea, and on top of that, celebrities are usually judged more than ordinary people. As a result, the director was worried that Suzy might have an issue with it. But as it turned out, Suzy surprised everyone as she had no problem following that strict rule. When she was asked about this fact in an interview, she was honest in her reply. "It was exhilarating for me. Director Lee was concerned because I had a lot of smoking scenes. But when I'm choosing a project, I think about showing a new side of me. So I was actually quite excited. Cigarettes are one of the key things that defines Doona." Now, smoking wasn't the only bad habit Doona had, and it turned out there was another rule Suzy had to follow, and that was swearing. Yes, swearing is also not considered acceptable in Korea and is deeply looked down upon, especially when an actor or idol swears on camera. Besides hate, this can also be turned against them and cause more trouble. So celebrities generally try to avoid these situations. But Suzy's character had a few of those scenes where she swore or used foul language in the first few episodes when she was getting to know Won-jun. Now, the shocking part is that Suzy wasn't uncomfortable filming those scenes, so it made it easy for her to follow the rules. Although Suzy received some criticism for initially looking awkward while smoking, she actually nailed the scenes. Perhaps it was her usual innocent image with the public that affected the reviews of this. The worried director of Doona was blooming with happiness after hearing that Suzy had no issues with swearing or smoking on screen, and that's why those scenes went smoothly. What's fascinating to hear is that when the director first started working on this project, he immediately started his hunt for an actress to play the character of Doona. And the only person who he thought embodied Doona perfectly was Bae Suzy. So you can only imagine how over the moon he must have been feeling when she accepted the offer and all the rules that came with it. But what Suzy was not comfortable with while filming were the underwater scenes. In the series, there are a few times Doona is seen underwater. Surprisingly, these scenes represent her emotions and never-ending loneliness. It was a metaphor representing how fame and the people around Doona were slowly but definitely drowning her. This concerned Suzy while reading the script, as she is a bit scared of water. The fear of freaking out and causing trouble to people around her while filming made her uncomfortable. She worried about it till the shooting day, and with the help of a bit of courage, she decided to film the underwater scenes without thinking much. Suzy also talked about this and said, "But when the camera was rolling, I didn't feel that much fear. I could just do it." So it's like the opening scene of the show. You know there's that accident on stage, and the underwater scene is important in portraying her feelings. I thought a lot about this scene, and I've jumped into the water. Thankfully, there was no problem on set, and it's proven that Suzy did a fantastic job. A similar problem occurred during the filming of the practicing scenes of the fictional group Dream Suite. According to Suzy, when they first got together and tried to dance, it was a complete mess to say the least. They weren't synchronized and all thought that it would be impossible for them to finish the scenes. But after practicing hard, they all got a grip on the moves and ended up nailing those scenes. The practice was hard, but what was even more difficult was the surprising directing of those scenes. So what happened was that Suzy and all the other members were told that they would be filming the scenes with a live audience during K-Con Japan in October 2022. Now, this alone was a significant source of pressure on them. But what made them take a step back was when they were given only 2 chances, as other groups would be performing later, and they wouldn't be able to reshoot because of short time. Thankfully, all of them acted professionally and were able to show their efforts and hard work. Although this scenario was highly nerve-wracking, they did their best, And when the music video was released online, it gained lots of views, with people wishing for the group to be real. We agree that filming those scenes was extremely hard, but what was more emotional was how Suzy had to go back to her old idol days. Now, if you don't know, Suzy debuted as an idol in the group Miss A in 2010. She's been in the industry for years and has experienced all sides, whether good or bad. When asked about her role as Doona, she opened up and mentioned that she didn't have a chance to express herself as Doona does. My emotions were bottled up, unlike Doona, who allows herself to experience her emotions fully, even when they are painful. Doona also isn't afraid to show her somewhat malicious side that intentionally speaks harsh words. Suzy mentioned that she never stood up for herself like Doona, and it made her so emotional that she had a private conversation with the director about how Doona could be misunderstood. But Suzy understood her well, as she has gone through it personally. She even mentioned that she wanted to hug Doona. To thank her for her dedication, the director also praised Suzy. He mentioned that he was very happy at how diligently she took on the role, and that there were so many things Suzy had to do compared to her other projects. She had to dance, sing, perform, then act. He could understand that anyone would be tired after doing all this, but Suzy never showed any tiredness or complained, and he was grateful for that. We would never be tired of talking about Nation's first love, Suzy, but let's shed some light on our main lead too. Yang Si-jung also had some specific things to do to actually get the role. If you are unaware, this was his first role since returning from the military, and he was very nervous about it. He enjoyed reading the script and even mentioned that his heart was pounding after getting through it. But to him, it was a burden as he wasn't confident that he could pull this character off. However, just like Suzy, the director shared that Yang Si-jung was the only one who came to his mind for this character of Won-jun. He needed someone to portray his innocence and naivety, and he was the best fit for it. He said, "When I read the webtoon, I felt that Won-jun was really ordinary and had the purity that this friend had. When I saw Si-jung, I got that feeling, so I suggested him for the casting, and I was really happy that he agreed." Despite this affirmation, Si-jung was still doubtful about this challenge, and surprisingly, there was one thing that made him change his mind. Si-jung realized this might be his last chance to play the character of a 20-year-old innocent young college man, because his age is only increasing with time. He said that it would be difficult to get such roles in the following years. And while preparing to portray the role on camera, he did something that shocked everyone. He still thought that he was too old for Won-jun, and went on to lose some weight. He was also taking beauty baths and applying face masks daily, but still it wasn't enough for him. He took it a step further and made a drastic choice to get his facial hair removed by laser. He mentioned that it was a painful step, but when he looked into the mirror, he could see the young 20-year-old Won-jun instead of the 30-year-old Si-jung. If you laughed at this, then don't worry, because his story also made Suzy burst out laughing several times when he was sharing it with the journalist. There was also one small rule the cast had to follow, and it was watching different movies and shows that the director recommended. Now, we aren't sure if this was supposed to be a secret, because when Suzy and Si-jung talked about this, they seemed hesitant and glanced at the director as if asking if it was okay to share, to avoid comparisons between the shows they had watched and Doona. According to them, Suzy watched Normal People and Si-jung had to watch Life on Mars and Romance is a Bonus Book. We don't know if it was to help them get into character, but the main thing needed for the drama was their chemistry, and therefore the director suggested getting on well off camera as well. It worked pretty well because in an interview he mentioned, as the two of them continued to talk, they became closer, and as Si-jung mentioned, even if I didn't do anything, their chemistry came alive just by looking at each other. I had a lot of discussions in the beginning for that. It seems like Suzy took his word by heart, as she became Doona off camera too. Si-jung jokingly complained during the interviews that she was constantly teasing him off camera, just like Doona. Suzy also confirmed this by saying it was too much fun, and they spent most of their time in between takes like this in a friendly manner. It's not just them, but the rest of the cast got on so well together and created a good mood on set. According to Suzy, the group Dream Suite got close to each other in real life too, and Sejong mentioned that the group acting scenes were so good that they cannot be described in words. Bonus fact: did you know the cigarettes Suzy used in Doona were special herbal ones and didn't have any tobacco or nicotine? Let us know in the comments below. And there you have it. Rules are made to be followed, but drama is there to be enjoyed. Stay tuned, our beautiful watchers, because the fun is far from over. We'll be signing off. See you until the following news.